Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Golf and Politics. Today, we're going to talk about Rob's business. We're going to interview Rob about the annual event that his company has. His company is the Majority Group, and every year they host the Majority Cup at Robert Trent Jones Golf Club in Gainesville, Virginia. Rob, first off, thank you for the invite to be on that trip this year. It was very memorable. Had a great time. What is the origination for the MG Cup?
Well, the MG Cup started 13 years ago with just a couple clients and a handful of buddies out at RTJ. And just kidding around, I got everybody shirts made and some hats. And we did an overnight in the cottages, played on a Friday, played on a Saturday morning, and departed. And there wasn't much to it. And part of the joke about the MG Cup the first couple of years is we didn't even have a cup. There was no trophy. We just went out and drank and played. And then everybody talked about it, let's do that again. And so the next time we did it, we went from 8 or 12 people up to 16, and then it grew to 20, 24, 28. And this year we had 48 golfers. And it's a mixture of existing clients, potential clients, people we lobby, and friends and people I meet, over the years that love the game of golf, love competition, want to be part of it. And, it's grown to the point where about 4 or 5 years ago, I was spread too thin on the day of the Cup that I didn't get to spend enough time with all the people that flew in for it. And so then came the practice round on Thursday and the interesting wine dinner at night. And then we were all having such a good time on the Thursday and Friday, we just started to add a weekend component to it. And, some years we'd charter flights and go somewhere for the weekend, or charter buses if it was within a couple hours. Last year we went up to Fox Chapel and Longview and Pittsburgh and had dinner at the top of Mount Washington, watched football on Sunday after golf in the hunting lodge. This year we went up to New Jersey and we played Pine Valley and Hidden Creek. And it's really, we did an episode about our trip to Ireland where you get a core group of people that, beyond just being fun to play golf with, they're fun to hang out with. And it's something that, we have on the schedule every year in mid to late October. And, we've got a lot of repeat guests. I've got guys that have been there to all 13, 12 times, 10 times, 5 times, first timers, and everybody wants to come back the next year. And it's not, because of me, it's because of the group or the courses and the experience. And it's just something that, the older that we get, there are fewer opportunities to pencil these things in on the calendar. And this is one that every year that I hope a lot of people pencil in on their calendar just because it's great camaraderie.
Absolutely. And these people came together and you got everybody engaged in a fundraising effort for a charity that's close to your heart. And I think it was pretty successful. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that came to be and how many years have you been raising money for charity? And was this the most that you've ever raised in 2024?
Right. Yeah, by far, this is the most we've raised. The last 3 years, we've been raising money for Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation. And it's a fantastic charity that, really focuses research dollars and funds for families who need it with kids with cancer. And there are 121 different types of cancer, and pediatric cancer is just one of them. And frankly, it is one of the, I'd say, not as well funded on the research side. And so Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation was started by a young kid named Alex who decided to have a lemonade stand to raise money for kids with cancer. And so they also do work with families that, on little things like helping them afford Christmas presents, helping afford rides to chemo, and just little things that you don't think about that add stresses to families that have kids with cancer. And it's just something that's near and dear to my heart. I've gone through this personally, and for us to be able to give back is, one, the right thing to do, but two, something near and dear to my heart. And over the last couple of years, especially, I think 3 years ago, we raised $25,000. Last year, we raised $50,000. And this year, we raised $80,000. So it's important to know about MG Cup that we're not just a bunch of buddies out there playing golf. It's not just a business, hustling for new clients. Those are both important things, but we're out there playing for a great charity. And I know from the stories they've sent us of what our money has allowed them to be able to do, it means a hell of a lot to them. And it's really become the focus of the tournament more so than just being out there drinking a lot of beer and having fun on the golf course, which there's nothing wrong with.
Nothing wrong with.
But now we're doing something good too.
But I don't see any reason why next year it's not going to be into the six figures for the first time. And, I can just tell you everybody that was there, very similar to our Ireland trip where we had 8 guys and everybody got along really well. This was, at any given time, it was 30 to 50 guys together and a lot of strangers, if you will, that became fast friends. And I just think about a lot of the guys that I connected with that I look forward to playing with again in the future. I mean, they were just delightful to be around and from all different walks of life as well. So, again, Rob, great job of bringing a group of people together. And just how does this help your business every year? I mean, I'm sure it does. I'm guessing that you have clients that keep coming back every year that this is, you do a great job for them lobbying, obviously, but this doesn't hurt on keeping their business or recruiting new business, I'm sure.
No, I think so. I mean, I think people love being part of it and have a good time. I mean, it's a great way to entertain existing clients, and, keep them happy and stay in front of them and, build a personal relationship beyond just what you and I do on a day-to-day basis, becoming indispensable to their business and knowing them personally and getting to know their families and becoming part of their business, not just, appearing once a week at a meeting or on Zooms or whatever. It's, becoming a part of what they do and also letting them into my world, so when I invite personal friends to these events, I'm also saying, look, I trust you to play with my clients and drink with my clients. And I trust them to not
not ruin your business,
not ruin my business, not ruin the course. And the way the math works is non-clients, pitch in for their golf and lodging and stuff like that. But if I get, 1 or 2 or 3 new clients out of the deal each year, this thing pays for itself rather quickly, and then in perpetuity. Could I cut costs a bit? Sure, but that's not really my style. I'm a Democrat. I'm just kidding.
Right. Well, I mean, let's. I want to talk about that for a second. You do not cut corners on this event.
Yeah,
and I am a big believer. I've always felt this way that it bothers me when companies will have a golf outing and they give you top flight golf balls with their logo on it. It's like, I'm never going to play these golf balls. And you're showing that you don't really care about your company if you're giving me top flights. Or they give me a hat that I'm never going to wear, or swag a t-shirt that is garbage. I think that you did an incredible job with all of that. I mean, to me, travel bag that is a duffel bag that is just unbelievable, that everybody there will use that travel bag all the time, and will advertise for your company. The hat I'm wearing, this Imperial hat, I mean, this is a top-notch hat. The hoodie and the golf shirt, amazing stuff. That what was interesting too is I saw lots of guys that had been at multiple MG Cups wearing majority group swag during the practice round, wearing it on the weekend, because the stuff's so nice. You didn't cut any corners, and you also took care of every single detail. That even though most of us weren't sleeping very much and were often a little groggy, we were able to get everywhere we needed to go without any major hiccups. And so hats off to you and Brad for just running a first-class event. To your whole team, I know it's not just you and Brad. You have a whole team of people there that put that together and did a great job.
Well, thank you for that. And, look, when you're hosting 48 people for golf for 4 days, and you're hosting, another 15 to 20 people that come to the dinner, you're setting an example. So, if I can show them, look at the level of detail I'm willing to put into a charity golf tournament that I'm paying for, imagine what I'm going to do for your business when you're paying me.
Exactly.
I'm not going to cut corners. I'm not going to sleep on the details. I'm going to dot every I and cross every T. And so for consulting, lobbying firms, we don't advertise, so my advertising and marketing budget for the year is MG Cup. I'm not going in newspapers or on TV shows. This is the first time I think I've ever done an actual interview about the inner workings of the business and the tournament, right? It's because we want our clients to be the story. We want them to get the credit. And so this is my marketing and advertising budget for the year. I get new clients by word of mouth. So by doing a good job, the first couple of years of the business, we started in 2011. We were successful for a couple of financial firms out in Orange County, California. Well, they started telling their friends in the industry, and before you know it, I had 10 of them. And it wasn't through advertising, it was word of mouth. And so
that's right. When
somebody hears about this event, like, what really makes the sales pitch on it is people go back and say, holy shit, like, we didn't just get it like a duffel bag with top flights. We got like a Toomey golf duffel. We got, Titleist Pro V1X. We got, state of the art, charging packs and cigar cases and this, that, and the other. And people want to be a part of it, and you want them to want to be a part of it.
That's
and right. I like you, those events we all play in where they cut corners, and I'm not saying overspend, but they're still spending a lot of money. But they're spending money. They're spending money on shit you don't want and that you're not going to wear. Right. And I have actually gotten clients from buddies of mine who played in the tournament, and somebody will ask them in an airport, "What's majority group?" "Oh, it's my buddy's DC lobbying firm. They're great guys." And they'll be like, "Oh shit, we need help. We've got an issue at the Food and Drug Administration. We've got an issue at USDA or HHS or defense contract or whatever they're working on." And they'll be like, "Hey, can you put me in touch with them?" Believe it or not, that's how business ends up in our lap, is by word of mouth.
Well, I have two more things and we'll close it down for this episode. But one, some of the best debate. There was definitely golf and politics taking place. I mean, and there were not just Democrats on the trip or not just Republicans, wide range of political beliefs. And some of the best debates happened after hours, things that were off the schedule. And we had a good time with that. And I think it was helpful for our podcast too, because people were saying, "Oh, this is guys how Rob and Matt interact on the podcast." And I think they were having fun with some of the debate. Maybe a couple of times it got a little heated, but for the most part, I thought there was a lot of good, healthy debate and good back and forth.
You and I are professionals in it, and we also know how to push each other's buttons. And I think part of it, I think we scared the shit out of a lot of them the first night with our tales of let's just call the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Of our tales of Washington and experiences we had that we've covered on past shows. But overall, like, yeah, I mean, you get a good look at, I don't like groupthink. I don't think groupthink is good in any organization. I love either employees or partners or consultants or friends who push back. And sometimes I know I can be overbearing or,
never
push a point of view, but I don't like being surrounded by yes men. And the cool thing about this trip is you can tell, I mean, there are some really varying views that you heard this weekend. I won't go into any details, but some of them you just scratch your head and you think, holy shit, how on earth does this person tie their shoes in the morning? Let alone run a major...
The debates at MG Cup stay at MG Cup.
They stay at MG Cup. But it also shows you how awesome the game of golf is. That it's still one of those remaining ties that bind, that supersedes, who you're voting for in 2 weeks, supersede what you think about taxes or social policy or whatever else. When you're playing golf, and we're all in it, to one, enjoy great golf courses, enjoy a fun group of people, and raise money for pediatric cancer. So, if you can't have a good time doing that, you're not going to have a good time doing anything.
Well, I'm going to tease this out now. We're still very much in the infant stages of thinking through this, but we are going to eventually have, and this should get some of our listeners excited and clamoring to get onto this team. We plan to have a Ryder Cup type of event at some point in the near future where Rob will be the captain of the Democratic team and I'll be the captain of the Republican team. And we're going to have a Ryder Cup type event and we're going to raise money and we're going to have some great business networking. And it's going to be an event that people that work in the political industry, and maybe even if they're tangentially involved in politics, want to be on this trip. And I think it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to be fun. And I learned a lot, Rob, on some of the things that I want to have accomplished in that trip just by being on the MG Cup through the whole weekend. And so we're just going to tease that out there, look for details to come on that in the near future.
I'm just flattered that you called my team the Democratic team.
I know.
We're really,
the liberals versus the Republicans, but versus
the MAGA jock sniffers.
Well, I am just a little disappointed in you, Rob. I wore this shirt today for you, and I figured I would get a comment, and I didn't. I'm wearing an Arnold Palmer shirt, and I thought for sure I'd get some kind of Donald Trump comment out of this.
Huge Johnson. I always thought highly of Arnold Palmer, and oddly enough, I have even a newfound respect for the king. I was just like an interesting take from the former president on the call out. Like I can't tell you how many of my Democratic friends were texting me after that, like, this guy's lost his mind. He's talking about a dead guy's Johnson. And I just would write back, you know what? Of all the things, I was like, of all the things this guy has said, this is probably the least offensive to me. I kind of thought it was funny. It didn't faze me at all.
I just find it interesting that you're running for leader of the free world, and this is where you go with your. I mean, like, the inability to stick to talking points is real, and I can't wait till after the election to talk to some of my friends that are working on the campaign to say, like, what went through your mind when you're sitting there watching this speech, and it goes off the rails in that direction. Like, what is going through?
I just think
their thought process there.
I just think so much of it is baked in. Like, I think anybody that was really bothered by that statement wasn't going to vote for him anyway.
Exactly.
And the people that are voting for him are used to it and either thought it was funny or just don't care. So, I mean, when you put a candidate up there, especially a showman, for 2 hours at a rally with an open mic, and do it like day in and day out. Like, you're eventually going to say something silly, but like there was a real fascination with Arnold Palmer's manhood in the way that
Well, hey, golf and politics coming together.
Hey, it says Pittsburgh guys, man.
That's right. Well, hey, Rob, thanks for your time. Thanks again for hosting an incredible MG Cup. And thank you to everybody that listens to our podcast. Find us and download the episodes anywhere that you get your podcast. Check us out on social media, Instagram and Facebook at Golf and Politics, on TikTok at golf.politics, and on X at Golf Politics Pod. Also download videos of our episodes on YouTube. We're starting to get some great on-course content, and that's only going to get better with time since we have the talented Jordan McMillan now producing our show. Jordan, thanks to you for all that you're doing, and a lot of great things coming. So stay tuned. We're going to keep bringing you great content, and we appreciate everyone who listens. Hey!